get it.
SDPN, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Well, hey, we got stuff. We got breaking news before the show. Now, obviously, we're doing this show right before Edmonton, Florida Game 2. So we're not going to do a whole lot. There are things on that series I want to talk about, but obviously we're not going to
talk about them right away.
We're not doing like a preview of that.
Come on, Adam.
Today because it'll be out before the game.
No, I know you got files in your computer about that game. Adam, release the file.
Steven, we're going to ignore that. No,
what?
We're not going there today.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, we are going to.
I just wanted to go one in.
You just never seen two high agency males go at it, Jesse.
Stop it.
It's true.
Yeah.
High quality.
Not this show.
High value.
That's if you want to listen to that, listen to next week's VIP.
Thank you, Maddie. Laughing.
Pete Deboer.
Steve.
It's not
Jesse.
Steve. Somebody on Saturday morning is listening to this right now.
Oh.
They saved it for the Saturday. They're like, I'm going to listen to this on the weekend.
Got it.
What happened Friday night, Edmonton?
Oh, Jesse.
Tell them what happened. Give me a 30-second recap.
Sorry, Deboer, you'll have to wait.
30-second recap?
Yeah. And your thoughts on the events in the game.
Man, Edmonton came out like a house on fire. And it seemed like they're going to start to run away with this series. You know, it's a lot of second round vibes, but I mean that lucky one from Verhaeghe. You know, the puck just seems to follow him around, and it was a great back and forth. But at the end of the day, after all that crap I talked, Sam Bennett 5-point game, and we head back to Florida tied.
I didn't
good.
think you'd get into specifics. I thought you'd keep it generic enough that you could be kind of right. But you made some predictions.
Yeah, 5-point night for Sam Bennett.
All right.
I like that. Jesse, what's your prediction?
Same thing.
You think it's a tie series?
Steve knows it. Like he can see into the crystal ball in his orange juice. He can see the future.
I'm such a beverage goblin today.
I gotta trust his instincts.
I love being a beverage goblin. By the way, in NHL Fantasy Stars, which is the fantasy app I have on my phone, Sam Bennett is absolutely carrying my team.
Yeah.
He's my only center. I maxed out all of his stats. He's doing great for me. Still hate him. But it's great. I get to have my cake and eat it too.
We weren't sure how that was going to be received afterwards.
I wasn't either.
It was received well. It was received well by many. It was received poorly by Florida Panthers fans. And that was entirely predictable. But there was a lot of people who agreed with you.
There's 31 fan bases who agreed with Steve.
Yeah. I just want the Florida Panthers fans who are still here today somehow. First of all, thank you. But like, it just felt like that was a different flavor of salt. Like, I've been salty about teams who have beaten the Leafs before. I cannot stomach the Florida Panthers. I can't do it. I don't like them. I don't want to cheer for them. There are redeeming qualities, I guess. Fuck them. Like, I can't hide it. I can't. And when you watch the stream tonight, it's going to be right down the middle. My calls might be a little bit more excited when the Oilers score.
You mean last night? When you watched the stream last night?
Yes.
For the person watching Saturday morning.
So this is going up tomorrow?
No,
it's going up tonight.
Going up, this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're just doing it for the few people that'll be listening tomorrow morning.
God.
Or Sunday.
And maybe they have a subwoofer.
Yeah. Oh, why are we doing that?
Here, wait. Sorry. Here, let me just YouTube a bunch of ambulance sounds and play them right into your...
All right. Now, here's the deal. Pete Deboer was let go this morning. And I just thought you guys would find this interesting because over the last 3 years that he's been coaching the Dallas Stars in the regular season, of any team in the NHL, Dallas is number 1 in total points.
Oh, my God.
In the playoffs, they are number 3 in terms of success. Wins are, 29, 34 for the Oilers, 41 for the Panthers in the last 3 years. The Dallas Stars have 29, and Pete Deboer is finished.
Wow.
How many losses on that record?
27.
Yeah, I think that's relevant.
Does that lead the way?
Well, he sucked last year against Edmonton, and then again this year. So you'd think there's a sample size. Jesse might have a point.
He can't get over the hump. Like,
no, he can't.
This is his entire career.
Well, and he completely sewered himself with the franchise goalie.
Yeah.
Which one's easier to replace? You, man.
Yeah.
You, definitely you. And did I call what ended up happening or what?
That he would stick around through locker clean out day?
Pete felt like talking. He felt like talking.
Rick talking.
He
knew he was gone.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, but wait. No, I think there's a chance Pete Deboer is still around.
Okay.
There's a chance. Or they would have handled it differently. But he wanted to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to dig himself out of what he said about Ottinger. And I said, if I'm Jim Nill, I'm like, no. You show up to locker cleanup. And you want to talk? You go ahead and talk. Mm-hmm. We're going to put you at the podium. We're going to put you in front of the mics, the cameras. Go ahead and talk. Fill your boots to your heart's content. And he did. And they made him do that. And then a few days later, they fired him. And like, we got a group chat going. Like, Drew's in there like, oh, he could go to the Ducks. Oh, no, that's Quinville. He could go to the Kraken. Oh, no, that's Lambert. He could go to the
Chicago.
Bruins. Oh, no, that's Sturm. Chicago. Who did Chicago get?
They got Blashill.
Blash.
No,
oh, my
the
God.
Bruins job was the last job that was open.
Yeah.
Sturm got it. Yeah.
And the Rangers, oh, no, they got Sullivan. Is there an open coaching job in the NHL?
The Bruins job was
Oh, yeah, that was the last one. Sorry, I was in the middle of stuff. I was talking while drinking my 3 drinks.
Do you mind repeating that for anybody that missed it?
I believe the Bruins
What was the
job
last
was
one?
the last open job.
Wyshynski said, maybe this is only interesting to me, but it is interesting that they fired him today after all the jobs are gone.
Oh, they absolutely shafted him.
Well, and apparently, according to multiple reports, the players, you're going to be blown away by this, were pissed about how that was handled.
Oh, yeah?
And the comments, and really what made it worse, it wasn't just the Ottinger situation, because you can say, like, there are people actually tweeting me right now going, this is a nothing burger, like that game situation, like a goalie's allowed to be pulled.
that?
Yeah, you know what's hilarious about
He's
that
allowed
is-
to be pulled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was the only thing that happened. You're right.
Well, 100%.
You go to work in the morning, right? Oh, my God. I know everyone hates you. I know everyone at that job hates you. Sorry. What? Adam, go ahead.
I guess the point is that whether or not you think it's a big deal, the Stars did.
Yes.
And they are, again, this is the Stars. This is the same Stars team whose ownership called out Ben and Sagan for being bad. Jim Nill has
Years
lost
ago.
it to reporters.
We were in the Virgin radio studios when they did that.
Yeah.
That was over half a decade ago.
Jim Nill has shit talked Sagan and Ben too, and they're still there. And like this is totally something you can get by, but I think the press conference afterwards was like, yeah, well, we had a sample size and he sucks. Okay, well, I think we're done here. And and I think I think that this is a guy who, if you look through his whole career, with the exception of the Sharks, he literally lasts 3 years everywhere he goes. Dallas Stars 3 years, Vegas Golden Knights 3 years, Sharks kind of like 4.5 or 3.5, 4.5.
Is Pete Deboer?
Devils were 3.5. Florida Panthers, his original team, 3.
Is Pete Deboer the final boss of John Tortorella's?
He might.
We've been saying this is the John Tortorella path. This is the Pete Deboer path.
It's also the Laviolette path. Alan Vigneault had.
No, he's been to a final and won a cup.
Well, Pete Deboer's been to the finals.
Well, and won a cup.
He didn't win a cup.
Didn't win a cup.
Never know.
No. Yeah. He did.
Berube, count your days. Craig Berube,
Pete
count your
stats.
days.
Yeah.
He's been to two cup finals, the Devils one and the Sharks one.
Oh, the Sharks won.
Yeah.
Right.
He was their coach. That's right. That's right.
That was
Lost in 6
right?
both
That's
times.
when that Leaf greats
Yes.
Daniel Winnick and Roman Polak joined the Sharks to help them get them over the hump.
Oh, that's Adam. That's Nick Spalling erasure.
Oh, I forgot about Nick.
Nick Spalling.
You know what? They
erasure.
probably, considering how not deep they were at center, they probably should have kept Nick Spalling.
Yeah. And he was like the one Leaf stoked to be there.
Yeah, he wanted to be here.
I remember that on it was beginning of the season media day, and everyone knows. It was so funny, like finally being allowed at Leafs media day, and everyone knows mission number 1, priority numero uno is finish last.
Yes.
Absolutely, everyone knows.
I think it. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and how did Lou Lamoriello end that day? Yeah. Letting us interview everyone, letting everyone take in their pictures, and then trading 5 of them. One of them being
Carter Verhaeghe. For Michael Grabner, who scored a goal from his ass. I remember that. Off his ass.
Oh, what was the
He couldn't score for the Leafs. Anyway, let's not.
Yeah.
So with Pete Deboer gone, and a lot of coaching positions taken. Dallas is one of the most attractive coaching markets, not just because it's tax-free, not just because it's beautiful, not just because
there should be a rule.
The team is awesome, but because there is a beautiful opportunity here with a well-built team to kind of change sort of what what the direction is. And I'm curious now with all these coaches off the board, they might have screwed Deboer, but they might have screwed themselves. Because not even David Quinn is available. Like you can't. Like he's joining New York.
But
that's bizarre.
They couldn't have known how the season would end 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
right. Like all the coaching vacancies, like they kind of wrapped up earlier this week and yesterday, with Sturm. So like it's just bad timing for the Stars themselves. They could have made the decision, I guess, last Friday or last Saturday, last weekend when he actually lost. But like to them, this is just we have to move on. And there's good coaches out there.
Oh,
like this to me just illustrates how replaceable these guys are.
Yeah.
Like, who cares how successful Pete Deboer is at almost getting over the hump? Like there's a million guys out there who can fill that role, and there's good coaches.
Who are they? I'm serious. Unless you're going to try to peel David Carl out of University of Denver. Like, I'm not. Who is available?
I'm still so surprised, given how his tenure went, that Jay Woodcroft doesn't have a job.
Well, that's an interesting one.
I'm so surprised. He's the name. Every time there's a vacancy, I'm like, there's Jay. And no one wants Jay, and I don't get it.
You know what's weird about Jay, and they were talking about this on the CJ show, is that he hasn't shown up as an assistant either. And I think it's maybe because he's holding out to be a head coach. But the way it ended in Edmonton, with them being in like last place and then Chris Knobloch coming in and then they immediately go to the 2 straight Stanley Cup Finals.
Okay.
I feel like, would that not, as a general manager, guys, give you a little pause?
100%. Yes.
But when he took over for Tippett, he was a breath of fresh air.
Yes, he took over like new coach bump to the max on friggin' steroids.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised he hasn't gotten a job. I'm trying to think of like this is the gold medal race for bridesmaids. Like
yeah.
Who are all the coaching candidates who are always mentioned but they never get the job? Like I'm just trying to compile that list in my head. Woodcroft.
Well, I think who was the guy that just recently he coached in LA, he coached in Edmonton, he coached in San Jose. What's his name?
Todd Nelson?
No, not Todd Nelson.
Coach. When did he coach in San Jose?
Pretty recently. No, LA recently before Jim Hiller took over. Who was that?
Wasn't that
the Leafs interviewed him too?
Was he a head coach anymore?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Todd McClellan?
Todd McClellan.
He's in Detroit.
He's in Detroit.
He's in Detroit.
Oh yeah, he's coaching Detroit as of January. That's right.
Yeah.
And they went on that little bump, and then they continued to be Detroit.
Whose buddy? Who? Lalonde.
They won like 9 games.
Lalonde. What's it? I don't even remember his first name.
Derek
Lalonde. Thank you.
Yes.
Like
the most electric member of the Sportsnet panel.
Yeah.
You're like, shit, I'm here for Lalonde.
Like Dan Heinout just got hired by the Lightning as a assistant.
You know who would be perfect to coach Dallas? Is Jim Montgomery. And I know he's St. Louis, whatever, but like coaching style.
Oh, Drew
Jim
Bannister
Montgomery would have been amazing. Drew Bannister?
He's the guy who Jim Montgomery replaced.
I know.
I don't know. Listen. The whole point of this was, hey, wait a sec. There aren't really many coaching candidates or openings.
Right.
So who do we got? There is a grand total of 1 opening right now, and the names are lacking.
Yeah.
I the names thing is like I'm not in the coaching circles and up on all the AHL guys who could get a jobs. I don't think like it's that big of a deal because
you don't think so?
They have the pick of the litter. Like there's a million good coaches who never get these opportunities because the same 33 guys are always recycled. They're going to come up with a name and he's going to be a decent head coach.
I hope you're right, Jesse. I hope this is an opportunity for them to go like somebody not established.
Yeah.
Somebody like different.
I don't think the three of us sitting here know the names that they should be looking at.
Oh, yeah, because I don't know these NCAA
so
guys.
Like, I feel like it's a fruitless endeavor to try and pick out who they're gonna hire.
Okay.
Unless it's a Woodcroft, who I think kind of an obvious pick. You know?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Woodcroft. Like Dallas they have spent their money oddly on defense.
Yes.
And it's pretty clear their right side needs work. And I mean, this is a pretty special team still, but they could do some tweaking and improving and whatever. You need somebody who's going to be able to manage because you got Cece, Labushkin, like it's like you got some names back there.
Dumba.
Yeah,
Is Dumba locked up?
I think he's got one more year. And I don't think like Dumba's stock has fallen precipitously, which is crazy to think.
So
think about where he was 5 years ago in Minnesota and how valuable people had him. And then he was traded for like a 5th round pick to Tampa at the last deadline. And
yeah. Now we might be severely
Dumba 375
next year.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
Maro.
Labushkin is 3.25.
So we might be overthinking this. Steve Spott is one of their assistant coaches. And actually, if you go to the Dallas Stars page, like coaching staff page, Steve Spott is listed first. Pete Deboer is already not on it. So Steve Spott, I believe he's been a head coach in the league.
Yep.
He's been a head coach everywhere. He was a head coach in Major Junior. Alain Nesreddine is an assistant coach. I know he's been around. Misha Donskov, I believe, only got there this past year, if I'm not mistaken. I would throw Steve Spott's name in there.
That's interesting. I mean, why wouldn't you interview him? I look at the Stars only have $5 million to spend this offseason.
Never been a head coach in the NHL, by the way.
No? Oh, okay. He was assistant with the Leafs, assistant with the Sharks. He's been an assistant for a lot of time.
Yeah, head coach of the Marlies.
Marley, maybe that's right. Steve Spott was head coach of the Marlies?
Yeah, 13-14.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, that's why I don't remember.
Hey man, you probably covered that team.
13-14, no.
You didn't?
No, not in person? No, maybe I did.
Imagine there's an interview with you and Steve Spott out there floating around on the internet and you don't even remember it.
No. Marley's coaches I've spoken to, Greg Gilbert, Sheldon Keefe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Stars. It's going to be interesting. Apparently, they were already looking at like, how do we move on from guys like Dumba? CC's a UFA.
How the hell are you trading that? How are you trading? What you said Dumba's making 3.75?
Yeah.
Come on. I don't know. Listen, okay.
You got a great top three. Heiskin and Lindell Harley is freaking incredible.
It's absolutely impossible to say this without sounding insulting. So here goes. Gavin McKenna is available next year's draft. There are going to be some players you're going to look at and you're going to go, there's no way any team would want that. And there are going to be some teams who absolutely want to be at the bottom of the league next year who are like, actually, you might be surprised. You might be surprised. You know what? I'll trade for that absurd deal.
One of these days, we got to do a segment or we should do a solo video or something where it's like the most likely to tank for McKenna. What are the teams who are most likely to tank for McKenna? Because you got to think like the guys, the usual suspects, the Sharks, the Blackhawks, the Ducks, those guys aren't trying anymore to do that. They're trying to get better.
Well,
I mean, maybe not the Blackhawks.
It's kind of fascinating because the cap is shooting up for the first time in a very long time. But there's also real incentive to be bad. If you were one of the bad teams this past season and you don't think you can have this miracle comeback in one season, I don't know, what's the point in being active in this year's free agency? Do you see a ton of names out there you like? How many sexy names are out there?
There's a few.
There's a few. Are you getting any of them?
Probably not. Unless you're overpaying.
Unless you're grossly overpaying. And it's also not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are any of those teams, those lottery teams, a Marner or a Bennett or a Tavares away? If you signed all three, would you even make the playoffs? Some of those teams?
Not Chicago. Anaheim would.
Yeah, okay, so you'd make it.
I'm bullish on Anaheim, by the way.
I know
think
you
they're
are.
going to be great.
You're thirsty for the Ducks.
I am. I think they're going to be spectacular.
Anyway, it's a very interesting year, and I want to say this started with a head coach discussion.
No, but we're just chatting, just having a chat.
So I would say Steve Spott, number one candidate, followed by a tie between Drew Bannister and Jay Woodcroft.
If a team like, let's say the Predators, I don't know what they're going to do, but let's say they go into this season and Barry Trotz goes on 102.5 the game in Nashville, Tennessee, and he says, we're here to make the playoffs. And then they come out and they sputter again, and Brunette's gone. Is Pete Deboer a guy that takes over a struggling squad, which management believes should be in the playoffs?
Andrew Brunette feels like one of those guys who, for some reason, is not in the Brotherhood. I could.
I mean, he got fired after having a Jack Adams season.
I could see him getting canned right now.
That was the right decision.
Yeah,
considering
considering
how things went after that. I think Pete
I could see him
Deboer,
getting canned right now.
He won't be unemployed for very long. He's the guy who's sitting out there for the first team in September or October that gets off to a poor start, and we're all talking like, okay, this is Pete Deboer's next team.
We've already talked about Jim Montgomery. it's a copycat league. What if teams are like, beat it, and they fire their own guy and they bring in Pete?
And that could happen too, 100%. You know, just like it was so ruthless to do that when they did that in St. Louis, you know, and
it was 1,000,000% the correct decision.
And it was the right call. That's the thing,
was.
because Doug Armstrong doesn't care. He's just about winning, and he says, if there's a better guy out there than the guy I got, I'm going to go get him.
Vegas with trading Fleury. Oh my God, assholes! Immediately win the cup.
Yeah,
And we haven't even mentioned the flurry of it all. Like the fact that Deboer's ending here in Dallas mirrors that ending in Vegas. It's weird in the way that he's going out here.
Is that the word Alan would use?
Star goaltender, you make unhappy. Everyone's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
They relieve you of your duties because they're going to choose the guy who that is the guy on the ice who you did wrong.
We could save so much time here, Jesse. we need to text Alan, ask him where Louis Domingue is signing next year, and that is where Pete Deboer is coaching.
They say
That's
that, Jesse,
work.
they say that history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
Yes.
And it certainly does in this instance.
He's got a problem with goalies.
If you've got a goalie, like if your team hires Pete Deboer as a goalie, you're like putting your armor on, right? That's one of those coaches. You're like, oh God, this is gonna be tough.
I'd love to know how good Ed Belfour's career stats would be without Mike Keenan.
Oh,
did you allow 3 goals tonight? Yoink!
I would love to know how anybody's career stats would be without Mike Keenan. Talk about the biggest fraud in NHL coaching history.
And yet,
fraud had good teams. Man, that St. Louis Blues should have 5 Stanley Cups right now in the 90s.
He's done
look
something.
At that roster. Come on,
he's done something no coach has ever done.
Fucked up the St. Louis Blues of the 90s. Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. What else?
Actually, that's true. It was just him. He's the only coach to ever win a Stanley Cup and Gagarin Cup in the KHL.
Cool.
And the reason he had the opportunity to win the Gagarin Cup is because he was persona non grata in the NHL. He should still be in the rotation, honestly.
Yeah, but everybody hates him.
Everyone hates him, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I got to read his book though. I've heard it's interesting.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I've heard it's good.
Interesting. Okay.
No, I just think of if I were to go back into like 90s coach frauds, that he's my number one. Ooh. I think he had a lot of players that made him look real good and extended his life. But when you're talking about,
I'm going to say Scotty Bowman. No, I mean,
yeah, okay, all right. Now the next
clip that, put it out there.
Hey, hockey fans, ready for the NHL Stanley Cup Finals? Well, you know what? We're going to take a break from that. We're going to go to the draft.
The what?
The draft.
No, the first thing.
The friggin' draft.
No.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the draft. And the odds on BetMGM. Jesse, this is kind of new and cool.
Yeah, you can bet on who's going to go first overall. Mm-hmm. You can either take James Higgins,
who is from New York,
or the field.
Oh,
really?
I'm taking the
They're
field.
giving you any other player to be drafted or Higgins. You can take either one of those bets.
Who's the favorite? Higgins?
No, the field.
Oh, the field.
Yeah, heavy favorites.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you taking the heavy favorite where it's like your payout's like, I got a little bit of a payout here, or 5 times your money? 5.5 technically, but basically 5 times your money for Higgins to go first overall.
I think I want the field.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't think, I do think Schaefer and Misa and those guys are better picks. I do. I know it's a great story. It's a great story, and maybe the Islanders do it. But are you telling me that if it was, let's say it's the Predators, that they wouldn't have gone Schaefer or Misa?
You do not pick a player because of where they're from.
But that's not the situation.
Oh.
I think
the Islanders can't do this themselves.
New GM, plus the old guy still there somewhere in the front office is under a cabinet hiding, and he won't give back his pass card, Lou Lamoriello. I think they want a big splash for their first overall pick. They take the New York kid. James Higgins goes first overall.
So you'd put it on him.
I might take this. Put $2, get $10.
I think Jesse might be right.
I think they do it. The fans all want it. I know Islanders fans on Twitter are like, we want Higgins.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then you have to.
Well, until he.
If that's what they want, like, then
Hey, man, you've seen how intense they are. You better do what they say. Hey, BetMGM, sign up today. It's an official sports betting partner of the NHL. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 18 plus to wager, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns for your about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario. 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. The next thing we should talk about is Michael Andlauer. Now, Michael Andlauer this morning, thank God some news broke this morning. This is great. Michael Andlauer quite literally skipped across the golf course, clicked his heels together before speaking to the media. And I'm telling you, if this guy was your owner, you would love him. If you're his rival, you're going to hate him a little bit. But it was kind of hilarious.
Every billionaire wants to be the cool one.
Julian was there, and we've got the audio there. There were 3 or 4 main points that Julian outlined. What one do you want to start with? The Batherson thing?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Are you kidding?
So here we go. Go ahead and press play on Drake Batherson getting traded.
So who wants to start it? Bruce, where are you?
What's this?
You know why? You know why he's not here? Because he's making false claims.
What are they?
Well, you guys have been reading all week long. We're at the combines, and apparently we're trading Batherson. You know, it's not right. Sometimes you just gotta get your sources right. You can always validate it here, but it's not for me or Steve. To me, it's all about the player. So now all of a sudden, this guy's seeing that, and totally false. Anyway, let's move on.
We'll pause that for a sec. So he's talking about Bruce Garriock, who has been reporting all week
that Drake Batherson might be traded.
And apparently, he was approached by somebody in Buffalo saying.
Who was?
There was some sort of story out there about like a JJ Peterka Batherson thing that really surprised Ottawa management. Yeah.
Now, just because the Sens say that's not true does not mean it's not true. But how often does a team, not coach, not GM, not even the president, the team owner go out of his way to start a press conference by going, "That's a lie, by the way. You didn't ask, but it's a friggin' lie."
And where's
anyone else?
The liar?
Where's the liar?
Where's the liar? Well, how psycho is it to click your heels walking up to the scrum and be like, "And where's Bruce?"
That's crazy.
Fun. I'm happy for the Sens. I am. Because they're good fun now. They're good fun. They're fun to talk about in a way that is not catastrophic every single time. Do you remember that unbeatable run they had with Ubergate?
Yes, it wasn't.
They just went on we could have had a Sens corner every show. I think we did. Mm-hmm. And now this is good, interesting. Sens fans have wanted I think strength just for a long time. You have an owner who's like, we're going to compete. We're going to win. You know what? We're playing the Leafs in the playoffs. Screw the Leafs. I don't even like them. And we're going to get a new arena. And also, where's that reporter who said that thing? Fuck you. We're not trading that player that people like. Go away. I think it's nice for them.
Which was the player they had sitting with a Spartacat when they did the fans are excited?
Mark Borietsky.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
When they rolled him out there for PR.
Poor Mark Borietsky.
And they had to talk about how, we're a dumpster fire right now, but everybody's excited.
Fans are excited and the players are excited and the
media's excited.
Yes. Oh my God. Poor guy.
Poor guy. Yeah.
What a soldier.
Yeah.
What a soldier. How do you not watch that as another team and go, you know what? He's worth $2 million.
Well, I think Nashville did. I think Nashville got him.
You know what? You're probably past your best. Here's $2 million.
Yeah, just for that.
God. You seem like an absolute soldier. $2 million.
What else we got, Jess? In this,
I wanted to talk about that one, and then I want to do the arena, and then Gary Bettman. So we can do the arena stuff because you mentioned that, but it's fascinating how he answers this because he's asked about the arena plans. And he says they're making progress, but it doesn't really sound like there's a whole bunch of progress, which sounds like the arena in Ottawa. So here's the audio.
Elaborate on that one.
Can you give us any
on the move to LeBreton?
I beg your pardon?
Is there any update on the move to LeBreton?
It's interesting enough. I called Cyril. I go, I'm sure I'm going to ask that. I've been asked that question. What's the update? And he's in Italy on his way back from with his wife celebrating their anniversary. But
That's great, man.
It's moving forward. I don't know at what pace. You'd have to ask that. But it's not. We're not moving backward. Let's put it that way.
Well,
This is what Maddie is saying behind the scenes. Thumbs down.
Since the I believe the invention of the wheel, Ottawa has been trying to build an arena.
Yep.
That's not out in the farmland.
that's right.
And
No longer farm. It's now suburban houses.
sorry, concrete
Used to be farm.
and parking space.
Ottawa's
That's right.
been
Whatever's
looking
out
for
there.
an arena since before Newfoundland became a province.
It's been crazy, and they've never been able to get it done. And you're hoping that a guy who's had a pretty extensive background in real estate, right?
Andlauer's no, he's freight. He's shipping.
freight and
Yeah, he did.
shipping?
You remember all the vaccines? He's the truck.
Right,
His
right.
truck shipped the vaccines
Is it
across
his
the country.
partner he's talking about there? Who's the real
Cyril
estate?
Cyril Leader is the president.
Oh, the president.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess he's the one who's in charge of that side of things. But they were supposed to be making progress here, and the update that he has is that things are looking good, making progress.
Isn't
in
it
Italy.
shocking that a
can't-
government town is having trouble making progress on something?
I can't
That's
tell
crazy.
you
I
how
can't believe
fast
that.
the progress is, but progress is being made.
It's like Metrolinx here in Toronto. It's like we don't know, but it'll be there, but we don't know.
So
we don't know.
It's also a frustrating time of year. People forget this is a frustrating time of year for rich guys, specifically poor folks getting in touch with rich guys. You ever, especially in sports media or any involvement in hockey, you ever try to get a hold of your boss in the summer months? Oh, forget it. Well, as soon as I heard he's in Italy, I'm like, they're not putting shovels in the ground for years.
Yeah.
That guy's gone.
There's probably like triple approvals they have to. I can't imagine the headache.
Oh, it's the worst.
Dude, that close to the federal government, you're not going to get a lot done.
Every year, hey, I got a question. Okay, wait for the end of the playoffs. Oh, okay, no, just wait for the end of the playoffs. Okay, as soon as the end of the playoffs come, bye.
Yeah.
They couldn't be. It's like they were already wearing a jetpack, and oh, look, I'm in Germany.
Yep.
I'm gone. So good luck getting anything done. You're lucky you got this man on the golf course. That's the only other place a billionaire would be.
Jesse, what's the last one?
And by the way, the real estate part I was talking about was when he bought the Senators, Cyril and his other three partners, George, Paul, and Sean.
Wow, the Beatles.
Malhotra, of Ottawa's Claridge Homes are all in on some role within buying the Senators, and they have the real estate experience. And they formed the development committee to buy the LeBreton Flats and hopefully put a shovel in the ground one day.
John, Paul, George, and Ringo are going to do a great job. I'm thrilled for them. So excited.
So,
that is that's you know what. That LeBreton, I'm not. Are we even sure LeBreton Flats exists?
LeBreton.
Do we know that
Is it
this
on
is an
a
app?
map?
Like, I don't think so. It's not on a map. It's like like Fortnite. You're like, are you creating this in your mind, or is this? What is this? Show me a picture. Has anyone ever seen a picture of LeBreton Flats? Are they actually flat? Because if they're not, we're already dropping flat from the name.
What would the legalities be of putting LeBreton Flats in the next NHL game? Like just pre-make it. It doesn't take nearly as long to build a fake arena.
Well, you know who could build you a great fake arena is the guys that used to own the Coyotes.
yeah.
They could put that together for you in a weekend.
Well, they've been to Brockway, Ogdenville, and North Haverbrook, and by gum, they put them on the map. It's unreal. We're still talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like we've been talking about this forever.
I think since the beginning of this show, we've been talking about it, Jesse. And it was interesting. Like one of the first topics we ever did on a show was the Coyotes in their arena. And I'm pretty sure the Senators were like a year later.
Yeah.
And
downtown arena.
thank God we don't have to talk about the Coyotes anymore until they come back, and they'll be back and they'll be better than ever. But I'm thrilled not to have to talk about that crap. This needs to dig a hole. Just dig a hole. And then everybody will go away. Just go dig a hole.
I thought this man, Michael Andlauer, was the solution to that. So that's
Seems
why
energetic enough.
Yeah, when I hear this answer, I'm disappointed in the whole situation where he's not like, launch date 2028.
Jesse,
something like that.
Are you calling out Michael Andlauer on this show?
I know.
He might
What'd you
call
think of his jump?
He
I
might
don't
call
think his
you a
click
liar.
was that impressive.
It's not him. It's real estate in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Why can't you build something in this city?
Yeah, well, half the year the ground's frozen, so that makes it difficult.
And supposedly the ground where they're putting the arena was like toxic or something.
The flats?
Yeah, it's flat now because they had to dig it all out because the ground had some sort of chemicals in it that they had to get rid of.
We had that too near us. Did you know that?
Like where we grew up?
Yeah.
Yes, because there was an asbestos plant.
Yeah, I remember walking down the street as like a kid and seeing the old plant, and then they actually dug it 6 or 8 feet down across the entire field, built houses on it, and if you bought a house from that developer, you had to sign a waiver saying you wouldn't sue them for asbestos poisoning.
And that's why we all...
And all the divorced dads moved in there.
Oh, really?
That's when divorced dads could afford a house, though.
Opening a new pack of divorced dads. Those are some of my favorite
With your
TikToks.
race car beds?
Yeah. I drive
Did you have a
Ferrari
race
car.
car
I
bed?
never had a Ferrari bed. I'm sad I didn't, but I feel like no, I had an uncomfortable bed. I moved into an apartment that was fully furnished, and it was the worst bed I've ever had. But it was not a race car.
We drove to see Adam a month into COVID for his birthday. And
That was at my house, though.
yeah. My wife and I are like, you know what? We're going to go cheer him up. And we said hello to you from your front step. We drove home and went, ooh, because you seemed upset. And if we
was a dark time.
We didn't have the cheering powers that we thought we did. By the way, I wanted to point something out.
What?
Adam, when was the first ever episode of the podcast?
May 31st, 2013?
It was 30th or 31st.
Yeah.
It's a topic of debate. Grand Theft Auto 5 was released September 17th, 2013.
Wow.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is still not out.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto 5 came out the year we started this podcast.
If
It
we'd
became the first full season. Came out before the first
We'd
full
be
season.
prepping, if we had a kid that day, we'd be prepping them for high school right now.
Oh my God.
They'd be like 12. Yeah.
Will we get GTA 6 before we get shovels in the ground at LeBreton Flats?
That I actually think we will.
Will we
I
get
think
GTA
LeBreton-
6
we'll get
before confirmation of shovels in the ground?
Jesse, what do you think? GTA 6 before confirmation of shovels in the ground, LeBreton Flats. This is a legitimate question.
No.
No. Okay, you think they'll delay GTA 6? then?
So Ottawa...
Oh, that's such a factor too.
Oh, man.
Ottawa was awarded the land and got it all approved to do their thing in 2016.
Yeah, but they had to get rid of all the bullshit.
You mean the owner?
Oh, wow.
They did.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, he did a great job.
no,
he
he
was
did
awesome.
a terrible job. No, I meant the literally poison ground
Yeah.
or whatever it is. I'm sure it's in the Wikipedia page.
I think they might have got rid of that before. Probably. Because you're not buying land that's like that.
I'm just going off of literally the anecdotal stuff I heard from a bylaw officer
Oh, there you go.
in Ottawa. That's all.
Damn, dude. So, yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, like 2015, they're doing the like request, and then 2016, they get selected to do the things, and then from 2016 until today, in June 6th, 2025, we're still here. Like, build the damn arena, people.
Man.
They're clicking heels though. They're feeling.
You know
good.
what? It is
I don't
kind of nuts how quickly, like, these Atlanta and these Houston talks, right? Atlanta's arena bid, there's one group that actually has the land. There's another group that does not have the land. And, the NHL's thing is you better build that arena before we give you a franchise. Like, you're going to spend money on the arena regardless of our involvement. And they're going to be able to get it done in like 2 or 3 years. Will the Atlanta expansion franchise play a game in their new arena? And I'm expecting them in about 2028, 2029, somewhere in there. Will they play a game in their new arena in the NHL before the Ottawa Senators play at LeBreton Flats Arena? And I think Houston is using the basketball arena. I think they're going to retrofit it, so I don't think they count.
So
I don't
will
think they're
there-
building just a straight up purpose hockey arena.
So is it specific to Atlanta, or just will there be a 33rd team before the Sens play a game at
No,
LeBreton
it's
Flats?
specific to Atlanta because, again, like I said, Houston is, I think, retrofitting where the Rockets play. I don't think they're just going to build another arena just for hockey. That doesn't make sense in Houston. So kind of like with the Leafs this is not a Leafs arena. This is a Raptors arena. And so they had to retrofit it with,
That is right.
and that's why our ice isn't always the greatest.
Yeah.
Atlanta is a purpose-built hockey arena. So
So you're saying are you talking about breaking ground or
no,
Ottawa's
they
in
play.
LeBreton
They
Flats?
play a
Drop the puck.
game
At LeBreton Flats?
at LeBreton Flats before the Atlanta expansion franchise does.
No. I think Atlanta.
I think Atlanta gets it done.
I think you're right.
I think Atlanta
Three
gets
for
it
Atlanta
done.
gets there first.
So we're going to get an expansion. We're going to get an arena and whatever. And they're going to be like, yeah, well,
Well, you could have said that about Vegas,
100%.
right?
And Seattle. Climate Pledge Arena.
Seattle.
Wait,
yeah.
yes.
How long until the Sens play a game at LeBreton Flats?
I
At least 4 years, right?
has to be.
Yeah, it's got to be 4 to 6.
They're going to drop the puck.
An
with-
arena should take 2 years, by the way. It shouldn't take that long.
They're going to drop
It's
the
Ottawa.
puck with
Yeah.
new head coach Pete Deboer. He's going to sign with another team. He's going to coach them. He's going to go to the conference final. He's going to get fired, and he's going to join the Sens.
And, people are going to wonder why the core four of Stützle, Cousins, Sanderson, and Tkachuk couldn't get it done.
The core four. If only they had taken less.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You took 8? Greedy. Could have took 6.
The final note: the Wikipedia page for the new Ottawa Arena under the construction broke ground opened architect TBD TBD TBD. The dates are very funny. They don't exist.
So, okay, can you say that it's an arena if it doesn't exist? Because they're like, did you break ground on the arena? It says new Ottawa Arena. That Wikipedia page should not exist. That's
There was
fantasy.
information on them building the arena,
That's
right?
fantasy.
Yeah.
This is this arena is giving girlfriend in another province vibes.
Yeah.
No,
You know what's funny?
She just she couldn't afford to come home, so she's gonna stay at school over Christmas break. And bro, it's okay.
You don't have a girlfriend.
None of us believe you.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
it's all good, man. It's all good.
The they were. I think it was Bettman that was talking about the change that the Edmonton, that Rogers Place has had in downtown Edmonton. And when we've gone up to Ottawa for shows, I always really like Ottawa. I think it's beautiful. But people that live there are like, well, yeah, it's good, but it's kind of boring. And that's just what the locals tell us. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always had a blast, but outside of the Byward Market, kind of wonder, like, where do you go? Like, where do people congregate? And I think that's what Ottawa really needs. And the sooner they get on that,
Yes.
like, look at Calgary. And I think that's what it was in reference to. Bettman was asked about the Calgary arena. And the fact that, the Flames are going to build in a great location. They're already in a great location. That's where the Stampede grounds are and that sort of thing. But it really does change your downtown. And Ottawa's got an opportunity here with this thing to really turn themselves into like a destination beyond just, hey, do you want to see the Parliament buildings with your grandparents? Like, it would be great to turn it into like a party zone where they're in the playoffs and there's a place for fans to come and hang out and party in the streets because they've sold out the arena and they can't get in.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's what we need. And I'm rooting for that for Senators fans because this team is young and fun and cool, but like, they need it now, not like 6 years from now when they might be past this curve they're on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, you can't have a Battle of Ontario if only one team is good. The Sens were good. The Leafs were bad. Leafs were good. Sens were bad. They finally met in the playoffs because they were both pretty good. I think if you make the playoffs, you're good. You're at least good.
You're good.
You make the playoffs. They're both good at the same time. They played each other. It was fun. It was very fun. Got a little unfun at times. But at the end, it was very fun. Thank you, Max
because of the
Pacioretty.
Leafs.
Unfun because of the Leafs.
Yeah, Max Pacioretty taking the team on his back. Max Domi, Max Pacioretty, and Simon Benoit.
Like, what the
They
They really got 3 game winners out of those.
Can I
guys.
just throw this at you just
What?
as an aside, guys? Is it weird to you that Simon Benoit has a bigger playoff moment than Austin Matthews in his career?
See,
Name a.
he has a bigger playoff moment in front of people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I also think they are level in playoff moments because both ended in terrible losses to the season. Like, not losses in the series, but losses in the general season ending.
All I'm saying is I'm asking my Stars to have a big
I'm so
playoff
tired of
moment.
this.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I really need them to.
All right, back to Ottawa.
Hey, you want to talk about bad Ottawa stuff? Let me make it
No,
bad
I
Ottawa
mean,
stuff.
no.
I got one more thing from the scrum
Give
I
it
want
to
to
us.
play.
Give it to us.
This is Michael Andlauer being a cheeky little boy and saying he's going to get down on his hands and knees for Gary Bettman.
You seem more hopeful that the league might reduce the penalty imposed for the Dadonov scandal. Has that hope grown over the last?
Did I say I was hopeful? No, I think I said I was going to go on my knees and plead for forgiveness is what I was going to say. Even though it was never on my watch, and I'll keep on reiterating that. But I think at the end of the day, it's would I be hopeful? I would love it. I think it would be, at the end of the day, just be a good citizen and do what's right for our club, but also do what's right for the NHL.
Do what's right for the NHL.
Two things here.
That's the right answer.
Two things here. First off, that is the right answer because Gary clearly spoke to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Two things are true. Gary was right to level that penalty.
Yes.
Gary was wrong to screw over Andlauer in the purchasing process and saddle him with it because he didn't tell him. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I think if he had told him, it's not like Andlauer been like, what do you mean I'm not going to have a first pick one time in the next 3 years? I'm not buying them. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen. But he did. But he was dishonest. And by the way, not being fully transparent means you're dishonest.
Yes.
Right? People are like, oh, that's not dishonesty. That's just leaving information out. That's dishonesty.
Yes.
That's lying. Gary lied to him. Mm-hmm. And I understand why Andlauer was pissed. By the way, very quickly becoming my favorite owner in the NHL. I love this guy. I love this guy so much. I can't even help it. But the NHL going in and reducing this penalty is also the wrong thing to do. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah, it's a tough
They
one.
did the same thing with Lou Lamoriello and Ilya Kovalchuk. And I remember
ridiculous.
It was an illegal. It was not. It actually technically wasn't illegal, which is probably how Lou got them to change it, right? Because Lou was like, well, what about what I did was illegal? I don't care. We're finding you anyway. And then over time, in the way Lou Lamoriello does, he probably collected information on them and their goings on and said, these pictures would be unfortunate if they made the paper.
He left a horse head in their head.
100%. All alleged. That's not actually a serious story. But,
Tony, stay in the fucking car!
but
Sorry.
But if the NHL goes and they do this again.
I chose a different Italian mob thing. Sorry.
If they go and they do this again, what is the point in believing them on any penalty that they serve, right? This was Pierre Dorion misrepresented Evgeny Dadonov's contract not only to the Vegas Golden Knights, but to the Anaheim Ducks. Two teams were directly affected by this. And Pierre Dorion lost his job, which is the right thing. But the Senators organization, I know Sens fans are not going to like me for this. You have to pay some sort of penalty for that because Dorion, even though he's not here anymore, was the guy at the helm put in charge, the representative of the Senators.
Your team shafted another team in the NHL.
Two teams.
Yeah, two.
Shafted
You're
two
right.
teams and a player.
Yeah, and a player. At least one.
And even though Pierre Dorion may never be a general manager again, I'm not even sure if he's working in the NHL. It's still something the NHL has to punish. And so if you go and you reduce this, what's the point in punishing anybody? Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's sort of like I look at this, I look at the Kovalchuk thing, I look at their halfway punishment of the Blackhawks, different situation, but I just feel like I know Michael Andlauer really doesn't want this to happen. And frankly, I think it's unfair to him. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, when you buy a business, you buy its problems. You buy its debt. You buy its bad employees. You buy its good employees. You buy its bad systems and its good systems. Its bad arenas and its fantasy new arenas. Mm-hmm. You buy all of that shit, and you're going to have to just deal with it. And frankly, I think that if the NHL reduces that, I think it makes Bettman look weak.
And this whole thing lands better if Gary is honest. From the beginning.
This doesn't happen if Gary's honest, I think.
No.
I don't even think Michael Andlauer is answering questions about it. Oh, would you reduce it or whatever? No, I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
By the way, you want to hear a little mini trade tree I just did? So the Devils had that first round pick taken away from them for the Kovalchuk stuff. They had it reinstated. So they got the
just so lame
30th overall pick in 2014. They used that to select center John Quenneville. Who
related?
I think so. He played 42 career NHL games, a bunch of them with the Devils. He was traded to the Blackhawks for another center named John Hayden, and John Hayden ended up signing with the Arizona Coyotes, so that's where the trade tree ends.
Great trade tree, Steve. Thank you for adding that. We
Welcome.
appreciate it. But what I will say
You're welcome.
is if I'm a Senators fan, my argument to me through the TV screen is, hey, Adam, I see what you're saying, but also the Devils had their penalty reduced and they got their first round pick back. How come we can't? The difference, guys, and I totally see your point. The difference, guys, is that New Jersey didn't break any rules. New Jersey did not operate in the spirit of how the CBA was written, but Lou Lamoriello did what every other sport does. In F1, this is a thing.
Oh, in NHL.
They give you the regulations, and it's your job to fuck with them. It's your job to go. There was a whole thing in F1 the first 8 races because there's the front wings and they flexed too much. The McLaren front wings were flexing too much. And then so Red Bull got really mad and they're like, you got to stop the flexi wings. And then everybody had to stop the flexi wings and it changed fucking nothing. And the point of the regulations is finding loopholes. And Lou, there's a reason we called him Loophole Lou. There's a
Gary
reason.
operates his league in shades of gray.
Yes.
And Lou's like, all right, here's another shade for you.
Yeah.
And he gives you a little shade of gray. And you fine him for it. And Lou goes, I'm sorry. What law did I break? What rule did I break?
And
exactly?
I think the Devils ownership probably were like, we're going to continue to challenge this. We did not break any rules. And the NHL probably was forced. Whereas in this case, I think Andlauer's only leverage point with Gary is that Gary wasn't honest about where that was going. And I think that's a legitimate, like, hey, Gary, you want to start this relationship off on a good thing here.
The Michael Andlauer was screwed. The Senators weren't. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yes, the organization needs to be held responsible.
Yeah.
Yes. But Michael Andlauer, for anybody who doesn't know, has been referencing the Devils situation when speaking about this first round pick. He was on Amazon Prime earlier during the regular season, and he said this. He says, "It is what it is. We move forward. It was before my time. I accept a lot of deliberation went through. I just hope that being good citizens, we can get the same type of relief New Jersey did some years ago with a similar situation." And then Sportsnet article explains.
There's nothing similar about those situations.
What happens, they say the Devils were forced to forfeit a first-round pick for attempting to circumvent the salary cap by signing Ilya Kovalchuk. The league originally docked the club a first-round pick in either 11, 12, 13, or 14, along with a third-rounder in 2011, and a $3 million fine for trying to give the Russian star a contract that lasted until his mid-40s just to even out the cap. After the Devils opted not to give up the first-round pick in either of the first 3 years, the league ruled the team would no longer need to give up the pick. The Devils applied to the league for reconsideration and a relief from a portion of the original penalty, citing primarily changes in circumstances, which, in the club's view, changed the appropriateness of the sanctions.
So they were fined a third-round pick in 2011?
Yes.
Let me check that out.
Steve's just doing trade trees.
I'm just doing trade trees on the
There's
fly.
actual shit to talk about. We don't need to do this.
No.
Adam, what do you think about that?
I think
it broke down for the Devils.
And I respect Michael Andlauer's thing. Like I told you, I think this guy's hilarious and I love him. I think that these are two completely different situations. Lou Lamoriello didn't screw over anybody. The only people he embarrassed were the NHL. That fine was because Gary and Bill and those guys said, we didn't think about that fine. And you know what else it was? It was to the 29 other teams at the time, don't any of you assholes try that. That's what that fine was. Even though it's legal, and it was legal. That was legal. And by the way, the Leafs have Chris Tanev signed till he's 42.
He'll play the whole thing.
I bet he will.
He'll play the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Yeah. And I'm sure the Lightning were expecting the Stamkos offer that they made, the $3 million over 8 years. I'm sure they were expecting him to play all 8 of those years. Oh, yeah.
By the way,
and this is the crazy thing. That was a Gary Bettman. Don't fuck with me. What? Are you stretching?
Leaning in.
Oh, I thought you coming
like
in for a
being
kiss
close to
there
you,
or something like that.
babe.
Okay.
I'm just like-
Point is, I think Steve nailed it. Ottawa Senators, unfortunately, should get. Whether you think the penalty's too much, I would agree with that, perhaps. But you can't screw 2 NHL teams and a player and his agent and not expect the NHL to respond. And it sucks. And it sucks for Andlauer and it sucks for Sens fans.
I don't have a trade tree, but I will say this. The third-round pick that the Devils had to forfeit in 2011, pick number 69!
It's nice.
Hooray.
And the Devils contract, I was looking up some articles from back in 2010. It was a 17-year deal.
For an established NHL player, like, That'd be a crazy deal to give an 18-year-old.
Yeah. So
They gave that to a man who was probably pushing 30.
And I forgot this part, that they went to arbitration, and an arbitrator ruled that what the NHL was okay in voiding Kovalchuk's contract. So the NHLPA had filed a grievance against the NHL, and then they went to their arbitrator, and the arbitrator said, yeah, the NHL is fine for voiding the contract, the $102 million 17-year deal. And the deal was signed on July 19th, and the next day, the NHL said the contract was illegal because of years of low salary at the end lowered the cap hit. And then the union filed the grievance on July 26th, and then the arbitrator said that the NHL was okay.
Honestly, I wish that was one of those things that could happen today. That's a story we could have followed all summer. That would have been great.
If 2010, if this happened in 2026, like the amount of content we'd get out of a 17-year deal being voided within 24 hours.
Would any of it be good? It would be good at the beginning.
Oh, it'd be great.
For the whole summer?
Steve, that would have been fun.
Then we get to go to arbitration, and then CJ's at the arbitration meeting outside the courthouse or whatever,
come on.
reporting, and we got all this fun
You're
stuff.
not seeing the potential here. This could have been great.
By the way, why was that deal illegal? And why did they make it so that
Parise and Suter.
No, wait. Well, why did they make it so that 8 years was the longest you could sign a player and 7 was the longest you could sign a free agent?
Why did they make it that?
Yeah, why did they do that?
Well, to save GMs from themselves.
Save GMs from themselves, but also from gaining an unfair advantage by signing players to too long of a deal with no money at the end of it, so that they could lower the cap hit during their best years and then not even honor the contract at the end of it, and player would just walk away. The Chicago Blackhawks won 3 cups with 2 of those contracts on their books.
Yep.
2 of them. So,
those deals hadn't kicked in yet. Oh, you're talking about...
No, Duncan Keith.
Oh, Duncan. Oh, yeah.
And Marian Hossa.
Yeah.
Duncan Keith and Marian Hossa. I don't remember how long Keith's was, but Hossa's was friggin' 12 years.
Sorry, I was thinking about Taves and Kane, because when you talk about 2 guys on Chicago,
No,
my
those
mind
were legal
immediately
deals.
goes to
Those were fine.
Taves and Kane. But yeah, those big contracts. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, they. So I was sort of, we were talking about state tax and everything and unfair advantages. I'm like, well, if you look back at nearly every cup winner for a very long time, there was some sort of, listen, you got to be good, you got to be a little lucky, and you got to cheat a little. Yeah, cheat just a little.
In fact, I wish the Leafs would try to cheat more.
1,000,000%.
They have been lately, which is good.
They've been cheating a little bit. I mean, like even the Clarkson thing was a bit of a cheat. The Clarkson Horton thing was a bit of a cheat. It just came down to insurance money.
Oh, Steve, you would love Sam Bennett on your team. You didn't say I was wrong though, did you?
Yeah,
you didn't say I was wrong though, did you?
And Steve never said I wouldn't want him playing for the Leafs. I don't think. Yeah. I don't think you said that.
Didn't say what?
Did you say you'd never want him playing for the Leafs? I don't even remember. I know it was yesterday. I can't remember.
I'm going to have a hard time cheering for him, but like if he scores for the team I cheer for.
Yeah, you'll
you think I like every Leaf?
Yeah.
Cody Ceci scores? Let's go Ceci.
Anyway.
The NHL, they had a whole bunch of contracts, like you said, going that long. Rick DiPietro signed to 15 years. Ovi signed 13 years. Luongo signed 12 years. And like you said, the Marian Hossa deal was a 12-year deal. And the only time they voided a contract was because they reduced those last final 5 years of Kovalchuk's deal.
It was absurd.
Down to $500,000.
Yeah. The other thing
$500,000 salary for 5 years of a 17-year deal. That's incredible.
$550.
I think people need to remember too that this is a pre-Russia invading Ukraine and their economy falling apart. The KHL was a legitimate threat to take Russian players back at that point, especially a guy like Ilya Kovalchuk, who did end up going back. They would pay you like $20 million, and they did. They paid him $20 million to go back.
It was always a threat, but so few players actually followed through on the threat.
Right.
Like so few players of relevance.
But the idea of the threat is more important than what actually happened.
Fair enough. Yeah, Kovalchuk could have like an absolutely unbelievable NHL career. Like if you go and look at his numbers, they're very good. If he didn't frig off to the KHL for God
4 years,
knows how
it was
long.
$20 million 4 years, $20 million per
And like same with Jágr, that guy disappeared for a few years, and the career that we'll never get to know was Alex Radulov. He was like the one guy who left kind of really before he entered his prime.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's because teams wanted him to come home before 10 p.m. The guy loved to party. What? Is that new? Is that
also? He is a current Gagarin Cup champion.
Yes.
He won the title this year.
apparently very like a grizzled leader vet, grown up.
Oh, he's grown up from slashing his own coaches.
And by the way, Sergei Moisakin, erasure on your part, by the way.
I know.
I think he's the greatest KHLer of all time, is he not?
He is, but he never played. He never came over. He was drafted by the Blue Jackets with a 7th or 8th round pick. And stayed in the KHL his whole life. Sergei Moisakin easily could have been an NHLer.
Yep.
So it wasn't so much NHL players leaving for the KHL. The KHL would, are you going to go over there, or are you just going to stay here? And guys would just stay there.
Because they would pay them.
A lot of
And
it
there's no
was
cap.
guys like Nikolai Zherdov, like, well, fine, I'll go to the KHL then. And his team going, yeah, man, you kind of stink.
Yeah, we're happy with
Bye.
that. See you.
Yeah, oh, no.
This
All right,
article
later.
is such a time capsule because in it they have information on the KHL offering Kovalchuk contract. They said the Kings, Islanders, Devils, SKA, and SK were in talks with Kovalchuk on July 1st to sign him, which is
That's a fascinating sentence. I've never quite heard it put that way. Oh, hey, he was talking to 3 NHL teams and SKA St. Petersburg.
That was when we started this show. That was legitimate.
that was
Oh,
something at
repped
the
by
time.
Darren Ferris. By the way, no,
And the Zurich Lions. Anyway, interesting stuff, I think. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/STP and get on your way to being your best self. Can't believe you guys hung me out to dry last time we talked about this when I said, have you ever talked to a therapist about your team and how, it affected your mood and maybe perhaps
maybe
your
you're
life?
exposing gaps in our sessions. Maybe I need to be more honest.
Well,
Yeah.
listen. Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, maybe that's the case.
Are you open to it? No, they're not.
Jesse
open to
wasn't
it.
answering for the both of us. He was just like, yeah, Steve, you need to do that.
And the great thing is, Steve, you can do it at any time. The
Yep.
great thing about BetterHelp is it's 24/7. You can get matched with over 38,000 therapists, not all at once, thankfully. But if you don't vibe with your therapist, you can
would be
switch
crazy.
it up. It'd be crazy. Yeah,
too much.
I got 30,000 therapists.
It's just you log into a Zoom
Wow.
call and it's just hi, and it's 38,000 people looking back at you. But no, it's not. That's not how it works. And the great thing is,
No.
credentialed therapists, wide range of specialties, easy to switch therapists at any time, no extra cost. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/STP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/STP. Now, I do want to quickly mention that I've had a few people that I've talked to, and I asked about this because Gary was he when he answered the question about the CBA, it was sort of like, that he was asked about it, and he was kind of like, yeah, it's later than I would have thought, which I think he wanted to announce it before the Stanley Cup Final.
Yeah.
But I think before the draft, very likely we're going to have a CBA.
I'll take that.
And
That's fun.
and apparently it's like real close. So
It's going to be on the day we're supposed to have CJ on.
and
He's
then
gonna have to
CJ's
be
gonna
like, bye.
sorry.
DJ the other day on the pod, he's like, it could be tomorrow,
Yeah.
So like, I think they're all kind of anticipating any day these lawyers get through all of the papers that it can be done.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
That's a great news.
CJ
Great news for
show.
our business.
CJ show, CJ show, CJ show.
Finals flight schedules. I got to talk to you guys about this because I was trying to figure out. I'm like, so we got a game tonight because we're recording Friday, and we don't get a game till Monday, and then we don't get a game till like the following Saturday or something. Like we had 2 games in 6 days. It's insane.
No, there's
Not quite.
they play. Is it Thursday? There's 2 days off every time they fly.
Well, let me explain that. Don't
Okay.
Stanley Cup Finals.
I think it's
schedule.
Monday, Wednesday.
Okay.
2 days
Yeah,
off, then they
it's
play Saturday.
Monday, Thursday next
Monday,
week.
Thursday,
Oh,
and then
never
it's Saturday, Tuesday. It's not great. And I asked about it, and I'm not sure if this person wants me to, although they're not like some source or whatever. But anyway, I called someone who knows, and they said so. They ran me down what it actually takes to fly from Edmonton to Florida. Like when we talk about hey, it's the longest Stanley Cup in history. It's 2 years in a row in terms of flights. I don't think people realize or understand, because I certainly didn't, how hard it is to get from Edmonton to Florida. So the NHL has chartered flights to take teams and personnel and all that. You leave at 6 a.m., you'll get to Florida at 5 p.m.
What?
And that's time changes in there.
Are there layovers?
But they also have to, that's so far that they have to stop the planes and refuel.
Oh.
Like, that's how far it is. I think it's like in Tulsa or something like that. Or
But how
weird, I don't know.
Okay, very stupid little boy question. How are you able to fly across the Atlantic, which is farther, without refueling?
I don't know that it is.
What?
It has to be.
Do we know that it's further?
I mean, it's like
We're asking you.
again, it's a very
would I know
stupid
that?
little boy question, but like
I don't think that it is.
it's like a 7-hour flight versus what is that?
They're chartered flights. They don't. They
Because
can't.
like I've flown to Vancouver
Steve,
without
you're
having to
asking
stop.
Ask the question. I'm sure there's people
Adam,
out there
I
who are
thought you
pilots.
had all the info on this airplane situation.
All I told you was that it's a big.
We got a couple people in the audience. Maddie, do you know the answer?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Luke, you got no? Come on.
also, the NHL has wanted to avoid the NBA Finals at all costs because obviously they want to go head-to-head against that.
Yep.
And it looks like it's going to be a banger Finals. So the NHL, and specifically TNT, probably doesn't want that happening. And so that's why it's so spread out and weird.
Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Friday.
Yeah. Tuesday,
We're going
Friday.
from June 4th to June 20th, possibly.
So given what you just said, Adam, wait, let me try to figure that. Yeah, the gap between games 4 and 5 is going to be murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to play a war in game 4.
Coming back to Edmonton is less hard because of the time change. Going east to west is easier.
Still going to be
West
hard.
to east
though.
is brutal. East to west, not so bad.
That is very true.
Right, yeah, because it's Thursday, you're playing that game. Friday's travel. Saturday, you play.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So John Klingberg better stand up and walk around on that flight. That's all I got to say.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Get
I
your
didn't
stretching
even
in, Johnny.
Think of that.
But lay him down flat in the aisle.
Exactly. Or what are those planes, those discount airlines that make you stand up the whole flight now?
That's not
all
real,
of them?
is it?
Yeah, it is a real thing. And they have like a little, it's like, you know, the stand-up roller coasters you're on? It's literally the same. And you strap in.
Like
and then
the Gravitron.
It's got that
Yeah.
little butt pad that
What
holds
is
your butt,
going on?
holds you up. But yeah.
You don't know what ride we're talking about? You never went on the Gravitron at the end?
airplane.
No, there are airplanes that like low cost.
I know about stand-up
Yeah.
roller coaster.
I don't know, man.
That's insane.
So that gap between game 4 and 5 is going to be really, really difficult.
yeah, games, what is that, 6? They're probably sloppy.
Yep. That'll be interesting if it goes there.
Or sorry, game 5.
Yeah.
5. will-
Game 4 is going to be 1-0, but like neither team is going to try to score. Let's just try to beat the shit out of
so
each
much
other.
rest.
Yeah, the real game is on the plane after.
Oh, you know what?
What?
We better watch out. Tuesday through Wednesday, reporters in Florida. 2-day gap, the elbow room.
Oh, they're gonna get hammered.
all those typewriter dudes out in the Stanley Cup Final together. We're gonna hear some news stories.
Oh, every single article is going to start with fucking
How many
Advil is my
headaches
friend.
you think we got on Thursday morning for that
Oh,
game?
I think
at
there would-
morning skate,
There will be some
a lot of
drinks had.
headaches.
I think any GM who's mad at the media should be like, watch this, and like announce something at 7. 7 in the morning.
Banging a pot.
Bill
in the
Zito
middle.
should come in and just set off an air horn like, I am here.
Yeah. Meh. Drake Batherson is getting traded. Suck it, Bruce.
I think.
Woo!
Thank goodness. Thank goodness the Ottawa Senators, Julian's not here. He's not like the Florida Panthers beat writer or something, you know? Or
Oh, man, how
the
would he do a
Oilers.
show?
He would never make
At 3 a.m.
Julian socializing is a fun guy. We'll put it that way. So is CJ though. CJ's a party, but I don't think CJ partakes so much anymore. He's Mr. Long Distance Running. I got training to do. He's got a goal.
That's
Where the
why
rest
we-
of us are
I
like,
don't
yeah,
believe
That's why
that
we
for
got
a minute.
Prime Julian.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I love Prime Julian.
yeah. No, if Julian was covering the Oilers here and he had that Monday through Thursday gap in Florida, just to visit the elbow room a couple times, we would lose him.
Oh, guys are going to be wind sprinting out of game 6.
Oh yeah.
wind sprinting out of Game 6.
Last year,
Not Game 6. 5.
Game
Sorry.
5, yeah.
last year, Edmonton Mayor Amarjeet Sohi and Mike Ryan of Sunrise, Florida, had a bet that whichever team won, the mayor of the opposing city had to wear their jersey in their next city council meeting. So Amarjeet Sohi had to make one, or had to wear it. And apparently this year, the losing team's mayor will decree a message written by the victor in City Hall and declare a certain day to be set aside to honor the championship winner in the losing city.
What? See,
Which
that's
is so
good.
much better than like Toronto. Yeah, we bet some beer.
We
like-
bet some beer, or like, oh, you got to wear a jersey. I want to see, like, all right,
Hear ye, hear ye.
let's throw hands.
Yeah.
Let's throw these.
That's good,
I'll
right?
fucking kick your ass. Go Oilers.
I love that.
They got to host a Dana White slap fest or whatever.
Jesus.
Yeah, what was that called? The slap league?
Slap league, yeah.
Yeah.
The two mayors got to stand there and just slap each
The
other.
dumbest thing ever award.
Yeah.
And he's got to stand there like it's interesting every single time. Oh, he slapped him. Did you see where he slapped him?
You know what would be awesome? Let's put on TV head trauma.
Just head
Just
trauma.
fucking CTE.
Oh, he slapped him. Oh, he didn't fall down from the slap that time. I bet next time he falls down from the slap. Dumbest fucking thing. Oh my God. What a bad guy.
Also,
Yeah, awful human
the
being.
way people's faces would blow up afterwards, like the swelling. Like boxing, there's a reason boxing works. Like you can defend yourself.
Yeah.
In the slap league, you couldn't.
You know what?
You'd have to just stand there and take it.
You got me going. You got me going on UFC and how much I hate it now.
You guys used to love it and talk about it, and I'd be like, I don't know what these fucking guys are talking about.
Since the NHL was shut down because of COVID, March 12th, 2020,
Yeah.
there have been more Olympics than John Jones fights. They haven't stripped him yet.
Is that
It
true?
sucks. Yes,
Is he
it
still
is.
the champion?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, wow.
What does
Yep.
he have on them?
Yeah.
What does he have on them? I don't know. You know what they have on him? Friggin' DUIs. He's a drug cheat.
Yeah.
He's and won't fight. Kind of sucks.
Well, the belts really matter in that sport.
They don't. Even kind of.
Aaron Ekblad talked to Michael Russo. So we heard about Brad Marchand via Elliot Friedman and his free agency. Aaron Ekblad talked to Michael Russo. And we're talking about the contract, and he said, we'll have to worry about that after the season. Obviously, one way or another, it has obviously come to my mind. But at the end of the day, we'll see the way it plays out. Everybody knows where I stand. I live and breathe Florida Panthers. I bleed. He said, I live and breathe Florida Panthers. I bleed Florida Panthers. I've given my body and everything to this team, and I want to keep doing it forever as long as they let me come to the rink. Now, I respect, and I think that's a laudable thing to say. When he signs elsewhere...
No, I believe him. I believe him.
I believe him 100%. When he signs elsewhere this offseason, that is going to be an awkward quote.
It is, but I think it's a really interesting free agent class because I think at least 2 of the top 5, maybe even, or top 10, maybe even top 5 guys genuinely want to stay where they are
Yep.
and will like sacrifice money to do it. I think Tavares wants to stay a Leaf.
Yep.
And I think Ekblad wants to stay a Panther. I believe that.
Yep.
Bennett's an interesting case because like, I think he probably wants to stay in Florida too, but like,
Money.
you have such an opportunity to cash in.
Yeah.
What about money?
Hey, do you think Brandon Montour is upset at his paycheck?
No.
Do you think Chandler Stevenson's upset? And Chandler Stevenson was Vegas, but still, do you think
That's the dream, isn't it?
that's the point?
You win the cup
You cash out.
and you cash winning the cup in a contract year. Oh.
Anthony Stolarz, OEL.
Stallers say he was a backup.
Yeah, he didn't play.
OEL though, got a good
OEL.
4-year deal.
OEL, that guy was a buyout candidate a few years ago. Who wants old man OEL, right? And then he got a multi-year deal out of it. But
Mitch Marner.
Yeah, that when he wins that cup,
Yeah.
man. If Mitch Marner
That's a
becomes a
long
Colorado
sigh.
Avalanche, there's gonna be nothing better than watching Drew watch Mitch Marner. He's gonna be. I can't wait. For
can I
that.
send you the clip that Drew sent me yesterday?
Regarding?
Me being right the whole time.
About what?
About no, you want to go in on? We can say Mitch.
No,
We
let's
don't
say
need to
that.
do
We're
a
not
Mitch
doing
Marner
that. We're not
segment
doing
today.
that. We're talking about Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah, what do you
We're not doing that. We're not
It's
doing that.
like the boogeyman.
Yeah. We got
But his superpower is disappointment. Oh my God.
We got to spread the content out, my friend.
Don't you worry. We'll friggin' get there.
Russian media reporting this morning, and I think he was joking, but Igor Larionov, who obviously won cups and Gagarin Cups, he's now the coach for SKA. He said, I want Ivan Demidov back for one more season. I'd like to speak to Montreal management. I'll be asking for him on like a loan. Now, obviously, I think he was joking, but a lot of people, because the translation is the translation, and even if you hear him say it in Russian, you're like, I don't know if he's being serious or not. Yeah, that's not going to happen, but I thought that was a funny headline.
No, that's very funny.
Yeah.
He's kidding.
Demidov, by the way, when Montreal finally put him on the power play and took Laine off of it, boy, that power play was cooking.
Is Laine a trade candidate this summer?
I think he was injured, but he was unplayable in the first round. Is he a trade candidate? I don't know who takes him.
So unplayable, he didn't play.
Yeah,
by the end of
that's what I mean. Like he didn't play past game 2 because he was clearly hurt or bad.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of both.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people excusing his play in the first game on the injury once they found out he was injured, but I think it's both. Like if you can't be out there and give effort, you shouldn't be out there.
You should also talk to the coach and say, I can't do this.
If you're out there and you're giving that effort where it looks like you're playing at 35% pace, why are you out there? That's on you.
You never know what to expect out of him. He's going to get you 5, 6, 7 goals this week, or no points, and he's minus 13. Yeah. Like you have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
The giveaways were crazy, even in the regular season. You could see Habs fans were so excited to see him and have him, and you don't blame them for that. And then by like a couple months later, you can see Habs fans' accounts going, "Oh my God, that Laine giveaway," and it's you take both, right? He also needs. Yeah. I swear to God, the Habs need a second line center so bad. Like no disrespect, but people are like, oh yeah, like no, like they tried to sell me on Kirby Doc. I don't even think he's there anymore. I know he was injured and stuff, but like you need a real second line center for guys like Laine and Demidov. You can't,
Adam.
You can't
listen. Shut up. What number isn't retired in Montreal that Sam Bennett gets to wear?
Sam Bennett's not going to Montreal, I don't think.
No. What is it? Whatever the most
they would have the
angering.
Bennett in Montreal for like 8 years having to play the Leafs, that'd be painful.
Yeah, and he just elbows your goalie, and you go, "Hey, I didn't like that you did that." And Arbor Jackeye just goes and like bites your ear off.
Yeah. Good point.
You know what I kind of like in the Laine effort and the playoffs thing too is Matthew Tkachuk, who's out there and is clearly not Matthew Tkachuk. But I know Matthew Tkachuk is out there being playoff.
Still makes things happen.
Mentally.
He's effective.
You know? Yeah,
he's effective.
Whether or not he's doing what he can do physically, like he's out there being the last man in every scrum, being a pest, trying his darndest to help the team out there, and you can see the effort, and he's so useful even though he can't really deliver offensively like he can.
The mobility's not there, but the hand-eye is.
100%.
Yeah. He has 2 areas where he's effective right now, like kind of in the corner and behind the net, and he's there every shift.
The behind the net stuff is fantastic.
Every
from
shift.
Him. Like he's good at that, and that hasn't lost it because he doesn't need to skate around to do any of that. It's in this little box, and he's fantastic in that box.
But if it gets a little higher than that box, there's a loose puck battle. Second.
Yeah.
Loose puck, second.
Yeah.
Second.
And
second
that's
again.
because of the injury. But he's out there, but because he's Matthew Tkachuk and has that mentality, he's still playable.
He has almost 20 points.
He's fantastic. And Laine mentally has never been at that level.
He's not an intense player.
Close.
Yeah.
No, he's too much of a normal person.
Yeah. He's
Tkachuk, again, if he never found hockey, would be in jail.
I think like Laine, you look at his stats and stuff, like I do think as he gets older, and I could be wrong this upcoming season. Remember, he started with the Cedric Poirier injury. Was it Cedric Poirier?
It was, yes.
Yeah, in preseason, which is why we don't need a preseason. Stop it. This is insane. But, he comes in midway through the year. He had 20 goals this year in 52 games, which is great.
How many on the power play?
15.
Wow!
Yeah.
And of his 33 points, 19.
Yeah.
And
ineffective 5-on-5.
This is the thing, man.
How
so
many
maybe that's an injury thing.
Say that again.
Sorry. So he had 5 5-on-5 goals
in
52 games.
So every 10 games plus 2.
Yeah.
Holy
But
shit.
he had 15 power play goals, which electrified the Montreal power play.
And power play goals still count.
But
They're
is
goals,
he like
but-
is Patrik Laine? Is he Evgeny Dadonov, or is he the Patrik Laine that went second overall? And by the way, Dadonov scores 5-on-5. But what I mean is that Dadonov is
Skates.
a lower level player in the lineup who scores a bunch of goals. Like, or here's a way worse example that's not even remotely fair. But Daniel Sprong always put up points. He couldn't defend worth a shit. And I think
Daniel Sprong's just wish Patrik Laine.
Yeah. I just wonder, Marty St. Louis, when he puts this team together next year, obviously you want to see what Patrik Laine is going to be healthy, and you had to limit his minutes. Like, this is the lowest amount of minutes he ever played in the NHL. 14-18 was his average time. Wow. So he's clearly fighting something all year. But if he doesn't get it done this season in a big way, I think that's what he's going to be pigeonholed as.
I'm just looking it up. In 37 games, Max Pacioretty had as many 5-on-5 goals as Patrik Laine.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that skewed.
Yep. And I think it's because he was probably injured and came back and tried to play. And, that first few weeks that he was playing, he was pretty crazy.
Oh, it was nuts. He was automatic.
Then what happens?
Yeah.
You're right.
And I think the one crucial thing in this whole conversation is that at the end of next season, he is a UFA. That Columbus deal he signed expires at the end of next season. It's $8.7 million. And I don't know if he's making that on the next deal.
He is not. How it stands right now, he's not getting a raise.
Right.
Did he even sign that deal with Columbus, or was it Winnipeg?
No, that was Columbus.
It was Columbus?
Yeah,
3 years.
That was the Columbus deal. 4 years.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Yeah, and it expires this coming season. So Patrik Laine has got a lot to play for here.
To be an $8 million player.
Jarmo Kekalainen just got hired.
Dude, people were hard on me about being hard on him. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's going to be insane when he's a Sabre.
When Jarmo is a Sabre, or when Laine is a Sabre? When they try to make him a center on the Sabres too? Like they did in Columbus? Just like people don't, like that Jarmo hire is so perplexing to me. They tried to make Laine a center for 4 years.
I'm grading on a curve, man.
Oh my God. Okay, so we should talk about the other things that we didn't get to yesterday.
How tall is Patrik Laine?
He's pretty tall. 6'5", I think.
6'5", 216.
Woo!
Would never know about his play style.
Oh, big
No, he's-
for nothing. It's funny watching him out there.
Like, come on.
He gets pushed over pretty
That's
easy.
a big dude.
There were games this year where it's like, I don't know, Max Domi or something going into a puck battle with him, and you're just like, yo, that's a toddler. Oh, and the toddler won. That's crazy.
Well,
the
because all
toddler
you have
won.
to do to get the puck off Laine is do this.
Like just
a little-
big
just a-
for absolutely
And
nothing.
can't, when he is challenged physically, doesn't mean
He might be better if he was smaller.
Honestly,
There's not a lot of players that say that about.
If he had Martin St. Louis' body, he might be a more effective hockey player.
Well, I'd be a more effective person if I had Martin St. Louis.
Yeah,
body. Like,
Man, those legs. There's something about those legs, man.
I'll take it.
Vacation season is upon us. How does Saley work? How can you save on your roaming? Because we talk about it all the time. How does it actually work? Here's how it works. Number one, you go to Saley.com/dangle. Okay.
That's on the internet?
Yeah. Get yourself a plan, or you download the Saley app. Okay.
Got it.
Number two, you buy a plan, multiple plans in over 150 countries, 8 regions around the world. We've talked about this.
It's a lot of countries.
Install the eSIM. So if you've purchased an eSIM plan on the Saley website, all you have to do is download the Saley app. Boom, you're done. Or you just do it directly again from the Saley app.
Do you have to say boom when you're done?
You could say boom. You can give it as many booms as you want.
You have the option to say boom.
100%. That's an optional thing. If you activate your eSIM before you leave the country, you will be able to easily connect the local network when you land and without the need for an internet connection, which is kind of cool, right? We like that. I like that. So again, go to Saley.com/dangle. This is what you need to do to get yourself all the plans that you want. And the great thing is that we want to offer you a bit of a discount, okay? So use the promo code DANGLE, get 15% off Saley data plans. Again, the code is DANGLE at checkout. Download the Saley app or go to Saley, SAILY.com/dangle.
Steve, can you spell Saley?
SAILY.
Okay, good.
.com/what?
What?
/what? What's the...
Dangle.
Okay.
Yeah. He was listening.
Sometimes I always know when he's glazing over.
No.
Okay, just quickly, Bruins have hired Marco Sturm as their head coach. This happened a few days ago, but we haven't had the chance to talk about it.
Really, really underrated player his whole career.
Yeah, he was good. He was also traded for Joe
friggin' Thornton.
So he was a Bruin. So that, you're getting a former Bruin as a head coach, which is cool. I like the video that they put out of him. Did you see the video they put out of him?
No.
So it's literally, I guess I can just send it to you because we can run it. I'll send it to you right now. It's really kind of fun, and it actually... I respect it because he seems to be very, very excited about it. And who wouldn't be, right? I mean, you're the coach of the Bruins. They're in a transition. I'm curious about what kind of style he's going to want them to play. The last sort of big holdover from their great years in the last 15 years is Patrice Bergeron.
Mm-hmm.
Not Patrice Bergeron, Pasternak. So, what is their culture going to be now? What is their play style going to be now?
I remember him as a very intense player.
Yeah.
Like really intense player. Like they keep trying to
I sent it to you, Jess.
The Bruins' identity has been ironclad for years and years and years. And they obviously got away from that at the end of the season, but
I don't know if they've got the people to play it anymore. Like Coyle's gone. I don't think Zach is that guy. I don't think Lindholm especially is that guy.
But you're getting back McAvoy Lindholm. McAvoy Lindholm on
and what a
D.
crazy pairing.
It's a crazy pairing.
And Swayman as your goalie from training camp.
So Swayman being better is such an easy bet. McAvoy and Lindholm having better seasons is such an easy bet. And that alone changes your team huge. They go out and they spend in free agency. They sign Sam Bennett.
That's a Bruin.
Oh, it's such a Bruin row.
They got nobody up front.
They don't
have anyone up front. Maybe Marco can still play. By the way, I was like, I wonder if Marco Sturm is still the highest scoring German player yet, or if Draisaitl's passed him. Sturm has 487 career points. Draisaitl has 956.
Yeah. I think it's been a while.
Holy shit!
My goodness.
So play that. We can play that video or no?
Sure.
Okay. I like this.
Tim Stützle is fifth, by the way.
There you go. Look.
Oh, sorry.
Hello.
He looks happy.
Hey, look at him.
He's adorable.
Look at
That's
him.
adorable. Come on.
That is adorable.
How do you not love that?
Okay.
That name tag, by the way, is the most impressive thing about that room.
Why?
What?
It's a
because
better
what do you
office
mean?
than
Why
Dubas's.
did they interrogate him before they shot this? Look at that thing.
They don't know how to light.
What?
That looks terrible.
What looks terrible?
That office looks like you get asked questions like, "Where were you the day of June 1st?"
What are you talking about?
It looks like an interrogation room.
You
Yeah,
can barely
it's just
see the room.
Steve, I know you haven't worked in a
see
lot of
one-
corporate situations, but that was what most corporate offices look like.
Basic office.
It's my favorite thing about my life.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly.
But that's if you were going to work in a corporation, that's what it's going to look like.
It's a room with a TV
He looks
on
too
the back.
happy for the room he's in. Marco, blink twice if you're okay.
Yeah. Joe Sacco, who took over for Jim Montgomery, was rewarded by getting booted by the Bruins organization, but he has ended up with David Quinn on Mike Sullivan's staff in New York. So the Rangers will now have Joe Sacco, David Quinn, and Mike Sullivan as their coach and assistants. And
That's quite the staff.
that's a pretty good staff.
Oh yeah.
Now, I can't think of this ever happening in my whole life.
Yep.
David Quinn was fired by Chris Drury as head coach. And he was rehired as an assistant. I can't think of that ever happening.
Roger Nielsen was fired by Harold Ballard and then rehired a few days later. And he had to come, and he came back on the ice with the paper bag over his head.
Yeah, that is different and tip of the Harold Ballard iceberg.
There's actually a CBC documentary right now on their YouTube page about Harold Ballard that I've earmarked. It's 90 minutes long about that guy. And if you want to know what a gargantuan asshole looks like, Harold Ballard is your man.
Oh, I found a book on Harold Ballard because I chose, I can't remember. I was in like the third grade. I had to write a book. I had to write a profile on someone. I was like, I'm going to write about the Leafs. And somehow I came across Harold Ballard. And the stuff I was reading, I remember having to ask my parents, I go, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing that he called this person. So I don't know if he likes them or not. And they're like, well, what do you call him? I'm like, a frog?
Yeah.
Is it,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it bad to be a frog or is it good to be a frog? I don't know.
Because that's an old slur, right? It's an old French
for the
slur.
French.
Yeah. Shockingly, not a lot of French players played for the Leafs in the 70s.
Dude, he was a terrible
Terrible man.
I
Terrible
keep
man.
trying to find this clip. I saw it with my own two eyes and I heard it with my ears. I cannot find this clip, but he was asked about a player on the Leafs. I think it was Peter Inachek, and he just goes, "Yeah, he's a dumb Czech." Send it into the camera. It was on like hockey night.
Yeah. Inge Hammerstrom, who was one of the other guy that came over with Borje Salming. Harold Ballard used to like openly chide him in the media while he played for the Leafs.
Like,
And it's funny, like you go back through the CBC archives, and I did this once for some reason. I was looking for something, and I came across a Harold Ballard clip on CBC Radio.
You were looking for Sidney Sweeney.
I was looking for Sidney Sweeney, and I was like, you know what? The CBC archives are where I want to be. And and
You got confused.
the host was female. And this is in like 1980.
Sidney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney was alive in 1980, and she had Harold Ballard on her CBC radio program. And
Hockey Night presented by Dr. Squatch.
and there was some other journalist on, and Harold Ballard was like over and over again telling her to shut up and calling her the woman.
Jesus.
Like it was just, it's like
believe
it's one of
it.
the most unbelievable clips I've ever heard. And it's like he's like, I don't care what the woman has to say, stuff like that.
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy just a
And he was in charge
crap.
for like a
35
quarter
years.
century.
Yeah, and he
like
took
more.
Yeah, it's terrible. Noah Cates re-signed with the Flyers. Islanders took potential first overall pick Matthew Schaefer to dinner.
Very
James
interesting.
Haggans, by the way, is the guy that everybody thinks they're going to get because he grew up the Islanders fan, right?
Well,
So, with the season tickets and everything.
I was looking at the Elite Prospects big old Bible that they release, and they have him ranked 4th.
Michael Meese is an interesting one too.
Michael Meese is
I think he's a shark.
killer.
I feel like he's a shark.
Oh my god! I mean, pairing him with Celebrini and his band of merry men is
I also
stupid.
Our good friend Jonathan Becker, president of the Sharks, tweeted out the other day that there is a Sharks watch party, like a draft watch party for their second overall pick. Do you know how many tickets they sold for this?
I'm gonna say 2,000.
12,000.
What?
12,000.
A lot.
Wow!
And that's not the first overall pick. That's not nuts.
That could sell out.
Most of SAP. Yeah.
Could sell out the building in Utah.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Isn't that nuts?
Wow.
So just correction on the little David Quinn there. Jeff Gorton and John Davidson fired.
Well, then it's fine.
It wasn't. So it's.
I thought it was Drury.
No, so Drury was 2020, I guess, when that would have happened. But yeah, so it was old regime that fired him, old coaching
Yeah.
staff that he was
Same
under.
owner, though.
Yeah, but like it's
Was it
Dolan.
same? Was Drury an assistant?
I think he was under Jeff Gordon. Was he not?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
but yeah, it wasn't him.
That's fascinating.
Interesting.
Okay.
So yeah, different kind of organization ish.
Rod Brindamore, we didn't get the chance to do this, but he did talk about this about 3 days ago, and I think it's worth mentioning the handshake line gate. I don't know if you have bought your Paul Maurice fart candle yet, but I'm sure it'll be in stores soon.
No, he bought the whole supply.
If Sidney Sweeney's soap is in stores, you never know.
Paul Maurice fart candles.
So here's
Paul
what-
Maurice personally farted into all these candles.
Rod Brindamore. Rod Brindamore, he said, yeah, I understood his point of view. He explained it to me. And by the way, if you're just catching up on this, Paul Maurice, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for no reason at all, decided that coaches shouldn't be in the handshake line with players because it was the players that went to war and not the coaches. And it's because Paul Maurice, listen, Paul Maurice should be a podcaster. I am somebody
No, he
who's an
shouldn't.
expert on
No,
people-
he shouldn't. How dare you even suggest that?
He should be a podcaster because he likes to hear himself speak, and it takes one to know one. But he said he explained it to me. I wasn't expecting it, but I understood what he said and why. It is the players. Of course it is. Those guys are the ones that are battling out there, and we're just sitting back. Not along for the ride, though. We invested a ton in it. So I get his point. It is about the players. I guess my take on it now, sitting back and reflecting, we talk about gracious losing, and I've had some pretty impactful memories and moments in that line as a coach going through it. Even in this playoff run with the Devils, I had 4 or 5 guys that were Hurricanes, and I think of them like that. So it meant something to me to go through there and shake their hand. For me, I'm not thinking about a TV moment,
Ooh.
which it became because it distracted from the actual line.
How about, you know what's been lost in this whole thing? The balls to say that to Rod Brindamore,
Well, I was going to get to that after that. 1,500 games, Stanley Cup winner.
who was both.
Yeah.
He's a long tenured head coach and played, I think, some of the most games in NHL history. He's probably like top 20, 25.
Yeah. Paul Maurice was thinking about his TV moment. Rod Brindamore says, for me, I'm not thinking about a TV moment. I get enough of that every time there's a penalty. It's true. Every time there's a penalty, they show Rod's face. He said, that's not it for me. I think moving forward, I'll probably just go back into the lines because it's a sign of respect. That's the way I look at it. We're not on the ice battling, but we're right there with these guys. So that's my take. I think you're entitled to do whatever you want. He won, so I kind of went, okay, I'll follow your lead. But I do think it's important to me anyway to show respect to the players. And I think
so Rod did him a favor.
Any idiot could see that. Because are the players just showing up on their own, or do they have a ton of support staff that are in this too? I know they're not on the ice.
What?
What do you mean?
You said any idiot could see that.
Any idiot can see that the players don't just do it on their own. There's coaching staff, there's trainers, there's everything else. So, it's about the guys battling. Buddy, are you kidding? And I think it was a Paul Maurice ruining Paul Maurice's moment with Paul Maurice's avarice. And we're all guilty of being a little too egotistical from time to time. You got to check yourself. Paul, frickin' relax. And I really hope Chris Knobloch is in that handshake line with the players at the end of this series. I really do.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, and wait, make Paul wait by the bench for you. If he doesn't want to get in the line, make him wait.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So
Oilers,
I am going to say thank you and congratulations.
Oilers, I will never forgive you.
If you don't win,
I will never forgive you.
If you leave him, if you don't go to the handshake line?
No, you got to win.
Or just win the Stanley Cup.
Win the cup.
Oh, that'll be hilarious. Oh, I bet Paul will be in that one. Oh, Oilers, I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you. You're up 1-0. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you.
In an era where the bad guys seem to be winning a lot, we need the Oilers to do this.
Man. And I was so stoked when he, I don't know, of all the guys to cheer for getting their first cup.
Yeah.
Paul Maurice was up there.
Yeah.
And now a year's passed, and I'm like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough winning.
That's enough. Well, the Jennifer Lawrence, I'm just a normal person shtick.
Oh.
That was fun for a bit.
It was fun for a bit.
But you're not. And we know.
And Paul Maurice is Jennifer Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Is one of, I like her movies. I do. But enough. Ariana Grande ruined that, by the way.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah. No, I'm just like a normal person. I'm just, oh man. When she did that impression on SNL, she ruined Jennifer Lawrence forever. Anyway.
Brock Nelson contract. Steve, you did a video for this on the
SDPN YouTube channel.
But that's a center off the board. 3-year deal, which is interesting. 7.5 million AAV. I think it's a pretty solid AAV considering where the cap is going in the next 3 years, and we know that it's going to go up.
Not unreasonable term.
But it's interesting considering Nathan McKinnon's comments. I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to do something towards the end of the, when the season ended. I'm not saying he was pointing that at Brock Nelson. And Joe Sakic did say afterwards, I would love to bring this entire team back. But, so what happens now? Are they what do the Avalanche do from here? And apparently Marty Nietzsche doesn't like it in Colorado or something. There's rumors about that. Which, too bad, man. You're under contract.
His production at 6.5 mil, learn to like it. The Avs could trade him. They absolutely could. The reason they could trade him and absolutely could is because his contract's ridiculous. Stay.
The first question I had when I saw the Brock Nelson deal and I saw Mr. Booger McFarland do it and Joe Sakic, his boss, get up there and say how happy they are with the contract. I look back on when this team won the Stanley Cup and they had a pending free agent. And his name was Nazem Kadri.
Yes.
And he signed a deal with the Calgary Flames of Alberta, Ontario, Alberta, Ontario, Canada. And he signed that deal for $7 million.
Less?
Why the hell? No, wasn't it 7?
No, less than Brock Nelson.
Yes, less than Brock Nelson. Why the hell didn't you just pay Nazem Kadri?
I think it's okay. So here's the thing: Kadri scored, I want to say it was 90 points after never even scoring 70 or something like that, and then he won the cup. That is the definition of buying high. Whoever gives him his money is probably going to give him too much. Flames give him 7. Now, He hasn't been the awesomest Flame, but he's definitely been one of the best.
I think he would have been better in Calgary.
You mean
Or, sorry,
Colorado?
Colorado.
Yeah.
You
I'm
get
messing up all
places,
my
right?
words. I
Come
can't
on.
fucking. Hey, everybody, New Hampshire.
I agree he would have been better in Ontario, Jesse.
Yeah.
I think
Perhaps
that'd be
LeBret.
great.
LeBret, maybe in the flat.
The magical place.
They'll never get built.
It's not just that they didn't bring Kadri back. It's they've pretty consistently screwed up his replacement.
They've been trying for 3 years now to find Nazem Kadri.
And I bet Nas would have signed for less. I do think
I
when
don't
he
know.
went to open market, because they could have given the 8th year, right? Bring his AAV down. Now, $7 million in a flat cap era is a lot of money, but he just come off a 100-point season. And I bet if Joe Sakic, and that's why he tweeted about Mikko leaving, he's like, that's why you keep the dogs. I bet Nazem Kadri at $6 million, 8 years, probably feels a lot better than whatever the hell they've done. Because think about Callum Ritchie, first-round pick, whatever they gave up, Bo Byram from Middlestat.
Mikko Rantanen.
Mikko Rantanen.
is what they moved to then make room for the Nelson moves and all that.
But they could have all that shit and Mikko and Nas.
Yeah, and look, we do this with the Leafs all the time. We go back and we say this was what led to this.
Yep.
And I look at the move of not bringing back Nazem Kadri, and I say that's the moment that cascaded into you signing Brock Nelson right now.
Yes.
You should have done that. You should have traded Mitch Marner between the window when they lost and his no move clause kicked in. If you can go back and we look at how you got to this moment, you should have just done the damn deal with Nazem Kadri. You'd be better off as a franchise for that, like the Leafs in a million instances. Sorry I have to spell it out for you like this, Steve, but to bring it back to the Leafs so we all understand what I think Colorado screwed up in doing.
Can I spell it out for when this exhausting conversation happens in early July? We were right. We've been right for years, and we're miserable that we're right. We're miserable that we're right.
You're going to do something on Nas.
So here's what I was saying with Nas. His career high was 61 points and 32 goals heading into his career year with Colorado, which was 28 goals actually and 87 points. So his career high went from 61 to 87. But here's his Colorado tenure, and winning a cup will completely erase everything from your memory. In Colorado, the 2 seasons before that, he had 19 goals, 17 assists, 36 points in 51 games. Obviously, it's only 51 games. Next season, he had 11 goals and 32 points in 56 games.
Disappointment.
He actually kind of wasn't a great Av until he was. Now, in what year was this? 2020, he had 9 goals and 9 assists in 18 points in 15 games. That is a great player. That is the kind of guy you keep. Why did he only play 15 games? Got kicked out of the play.
I think you read those 2020 playoff numbers and the 2022 playoff numbers, 15 and 16, 18 and 15, and I don't care. I don't care about anything else. Like, all of it's window dressing. It's a Sam Bennett situation. The dude might win the Conn Smythe if they win the Stanley Cup here in the next couple of weeks. Nazem Kadri delivered during the playoffs, the 2 times when he played extended time in the playoffs for them, and that should be enough to give him the money. You won the Stanley Cup with the man.
Now, it's tricky because the Avs are signing him to be number 2. Flames, I think we're signing him to be number 1 or like 1A, 1B, something like that. With Bennett, okay, wherever he signs, who's your Barkov? Who's your Lundell? Who are the guys taking all those D-zone draws? Who are those guys? Like, I don't know. It's going to be a fascinating contract. Obviously, he's a sick player and has been to 3 straight Cup finals and blah, 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 blah.
But he might go to a place where he doesn't have that type of protection. Which,
Yes.
Yeah.
Where
which
did
would
this
hurt his
conversation
career.
start?
But with Kadri, the Brock
Kadri.
Nelson signing,
Yes.
his best career year in terms of goals, the most recent one.
Yeah.
Kadri?
Yeah.
Really? What did he
Yeah.
get this past year?
35 goals. Career
Oh,
high.
he did.
All right.
Career high.
I'm ready for him to come home. I'm ready.
He's coming home.
I still stand behind the fact it was the right thing to trade him.
Yes.
Suspended 2 playoffs in a row, and then suspended a 3rd playoff in a row with Colorado. But the Leafs made a horrible trade. And
was terrible.
Nazem Kadri was one of my favorite Leafs. They got for him my least favorite Leaf of all time, Kerfoot. Kerfoot and Hall are, I'm sorry, I've heard they're great guys.
Adam.
I can't stand.
Kerfoot is a nice guy.
I've heard he's a great guy.
He's a really nice guy.
Excellent person.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? It's not that it's really their fault. I think they were put in positions where they never should have been.
I blame them as people.
You blame them personally. Yeah.
Bad guys.
Yeah, bad guys, generally. I could not, by the time Kerfoot was in his last season in Toronto, I couldn't even look at the screen when he was on.
Adam's projecting.
It was crazy. Like,
We all
what
know
do
that-
you do?
We all know the king of Gripper
What
Nation.
do you do, man?
The king of Gripper Nation loves Kerfoot.
True.
You just wish he was Kerfeet. Hey.
Two's always better than one.
Hey, you're right.
All right, a couple other things that I want to get to. Kucherov won the Ted Lindsay again. I think that's his second year in a row.
Oh.
But I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at something else. Jesse.
So wait, Draisaitl won the Hart? And
Draisaitl didn't win the Hart.
No, nobody's won the Hart.
I thought it was announced.
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
He might.
You made that
Maybe
up.
you broke that.
Yeah.
story.
Maybe I broke
Did
it.
you just break that story?
I don't know. I thought
you
he
dream
already
that?
won it.
I don't know.
Maybe I dreamed it.
Um,
I dreamed I tore out a chunk of my beard and I woke up and touched my face.
did you?
Yeah, I was really happy to find it still there.
I once had a dream where I got bit by a tiger in my leg, and I woke up and I felt like I was missing my leg. And it was
What?
scary for like the first 10 seconds of being.
Whoa.
Was your leg just asleep?
No, like I my leg was fine. It's just I don't know. It was just your mind can do crazy things.
Weird.
Yeah. So like I understand your beard drama.
Well, what does that mean?
Has your
Someone analyze that?
guys? We're all in long-term relationships. Has your partner ever woken up from a dream where you did something bad and they were sort of mad at you for the first 10 minutes?
No.
Because Natalie thought I was cheating on her in a dream, and then woke up and she's like, "You cheated on me in my dream."
I have given the feedback. I would like you to dream more good things about me.
Yeah. Like, why can't you dream that I'm like, winning the Stanley Cup? I don't know,
Leafs
anything.
won.
And she's like, "Well, I want it to be something that's probable." I think
Yeah.
probably.
Leafs won, and then why do you dream about probable things? Stupid.
Is this what I'm about to show you, Jesse? You let me know when you're ready to go here.
Yeah.
Is this the best haircut in hockey history?
Oh dear.
Now,
let me know when to look.
Who is this?
This is the new coach of, I believe, SKA. Yes. And no, he's not. He's not. It's not SKA. What's the
Lariano.
Wolf logo? What's the Wolf,
Wolf logo?
Yeah. You look at the screen.
Oh, Metallurg Magnitogorsk.
Yeah. He's the new coach for
Oh my
Now,
God.
listen.
Just fuck my shit up.
There's something about this guy where it's like, if you had asked me on the street, if you had him on the street and be like, "Where's this guy from?" I'd be like, immediately Russia. That is the most Russian looking guy I've
Yes.
ever seen in my life.
I'm mad they put him in like a dress suit.
Yeah, this is, for anybody listening, he's got red hair and he's got a bowl cut to past his eyebrows and a little bit on the sides, a little extra because he's got a little bit of sideburn action going on there. Get a little crazy.
Do you think that guy's ever been at school and gotten a howler from his mom for misbehaving?
I don't know. He does look like Harry Potter with orange hair.
He looks like Ron. He looks like Ron.
He's an older Ron. There you
Yeah,
go.
this man could be British.
Oh yeah, you know what? He could be British. I could see that. He for sure has a model train set.
Yeah. Or he could be like owner of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes. Nobody has a worse haircut than Al Davis Jr.
Who I think has the worst haircut of all time, but it's very similar to this.
What movie villain does he look like? There's like a really short woman with hair like that, and I want to say she's a super villain, and she yells.
What?
Maddie, you're younger. Help me out.
Is that Edna from The Incredibles?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
does look-
I was thinking
Google
that.
Edna from The Incredibles.
Edna's just got a bob that's
Yeah.
cartoony.
It's a fuck ass Bob.
It's very
It's a cartoony
No,
bob.
but if you put glasses on this guy,
You think he'd be
yeah.
Edna?
well, and Edna's supposed to be like Paris Fashion Week hairstyle, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's what this guy.
Oh, he looks. Come on, throw Edna on the screen. He needs the glasses. Yeah, Edna and her fuck ass Bob.
Why are you so mad at Edna?
She has a fuck ass Bob.
I think Edna's bob is sophisticated.
Well, his is. I don't even know what you call it. The popcorn bowl. Oh my God, that's the worst haircut I've ever seen.
They definitely have the same energy,
They do.
for sure.
Give me
Yeah.
one second, man.
Evil.
Yeah, evil. You don't know that this coach could be a really nice guy.
Oh yeah. You work at a soup kitchen with hair like that?
What?
Never. No shot. No shot.
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. I can see
Oh
it.
no. Oh heavens.
Yeah, I see it.
Now, Jesse,
Yeah,
I've
throw
sent you
glasses
something
on.
else to wrap up the show, and Steve is not allowed to see it.
Oh, okay.
But Steve, I want to ask you a question. 2018, what were you doing, and what did you look like?
I was a little lighter.
Weren't we all?
Yeah.
Except for Jesse.
A little lighter, beardless. What was I doing? I was working at Sportsnet. I was, I think, doing hat picks and dangits, doing a podcast with my dork-ass friends.
Living in Oshawa?
Living in Oshawa, walking my dogs
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Is this whole thing to remind me that one of my dogs died? You're a piece of shit.
No, it's not. No, it's actually to remind you how many bunnies your dogs have killed.
Oh, they've killed so many bunnies. And don't say dogs. Charlie's innocent.
Yeah,
it was all
Iggy. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to show you this picture
Okay.
of Macklin Celebrini in 2018.
What? That is a baby boy.
Macklin Celebrini, who is one of the best young NHL players, first overall pick a couple of years ago, and Macklin Celebrini in 2018 looked like that.
That's insane.
By the way, anybody listening, he looks like a baby, as Steve said, like a baby child.
He looks like a tiny baby child. Oh my God. Like, okay, between that photo and now is the entire John Tavares contract.
Yes.
And as that sentence leaves my mouth, I'm also asking the question, why are you like this?
Yeah.
He's a tiny baby child, and we're all old, and we're going to die, I think, pretty soon, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Anyway, I just thought we'd wrap with that, guys.
Wow.
So here's the schedule. We are doing a show Monday, or are we going to wait for we'll talk.
Regular schedule.
Regular
is our
schedule. All right.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
All right.
Depending on maybe a game 7 might shift that, but next week will be regular.
Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well, no, yeah. So game 7 would land on a Friday. We're not doing a show that day. No
Yes,
way.
That's what I said.
Wow.
Like game 7 would move that.
There you go. I'm saying it for emphasis.
He just said that.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Jesse, what was the thing you said earlier?
Oh, I think I
Roll the
mentioned
tape.
about how like a game 7.
He was
could change
non-committal.
that.
Roll the tape. Non-committal.
All right. We hope everybody has a good weekend.
I don't.
Go Oilers.
There's a
go
couple
Panthers.
people over here who I wouldn't mind if they stepped in a puddle.
We're gonna have bad weekends.
Have a bad weekend, Luke. You're fine. Adam, you're all right.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You in the audience, you're fine.
Yeah.
Jesse, frig off.
Ah, darn it.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.